Hello everyone. In this video we'll talk about psychology's glossary. Okay? So start. Creativity. The ability to produce ideas, objects and problem solutions that are novel and appropriate. Crowding. A psychological feelings of too little space, perception of crampedness. Crowding tolerance, the ability to mentally deal with a high density or crowded environment such as crowded residence. Culture fair test, a test that does not discriminate examinees on the basis of their culture experiences. Defense mechanism, according to Freud, ways in which the ego unconsciously try to cope with unacceptable id impulses, as in repressions, projections, reactions, formations, sublimations, rationalizations, etc. D. Institutionalizations, the transfer of former mental patients from institutions into the community. Delusion, irrational beliefs that are held despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Depersonalization, derealizations disorder, dissociative disorder in which there is a loss of the sense of self. Depressive disorder, these disorders include a period of depressed mood or and loss of interest or pleasure in most activities with other changes in appetite, sleep and fatigue. Diathesis stress model, a view that the interaction of factors such as biological predispositions combined with the life stress may cause a specific disorder. Diffusion of responsibility, the thought that when others are present, one person alone will not held responsible for doing or not doing something, other members are also responsible and will therefore do the task. Disaster. A disaster is an unforeseen and often sudden event that disrupts the normal condition within a society and causes widespread damage, destructions, and human sufferings. Discriminations, behavior that shows a distinctions being made between two or more persons, often on the basis of persons or persons' membership of a particular group. Displacement, redirecting an impulses towards a less threatening to suffer target, a key concept in psychoanalytic theory, a defense mechanism. Dissociation, a split in consciousness whereby certain thoughts, feelings, and behavior operate independently from others. Ecology, that branch of biology which deals with the relations of organisms to their environment. Ego, the part of personality that provides a buffer between that it and the outside world. Electroconclusive therapy, ECT, commonly called shock treatment, a biological treatment for unipolar depression in which electrodes attached to a patient's head send an electric current through the brain, causing a convulsions. It is effective in the treatment of cases of several depressions that fail to respond to the drug therapy. Emotional intelligence, a cluster of traits or abilities relating to the emotional side of the life, abilities such as recognizing and managing one's own emotions, being able to motivate oneself and restrain one's impulses, recognizing and mangling others' emotions, and handling interpersonal relationship in an effective manner. It is expressed in the form of an emotional quotient (EQ score). Empathy, reacting to another's feelings with an emotional response that is similar to the other's feelings. Environment, totality or any aspect of physical and social setup that surrounded and affect an individual organism. Environmental psychology, the branch of psychology that concentrates on the interaction between the physical world and the human behavior. Evaluation apprehension, the fear of being evaluated negatively by others who are present an audience. Exhaustion, state in which energy resources have been used up, the responsiveness is reduced to a minimum. Exorcism, religiously inspired treatment procedure designed to drive out evil spirit or forces from a Possessed person. Belief. The cognitive component of the thoughts or ideas regarding a topic. Bipolar and related disorder. These include periods of mania and depressions, both alternately present, sometimes interrupted by normal mood. Cardial trait. According to Alport, a single trait that is dominates an individual's entire personality. Case study. An intensive study of an individual's or a situation to develop general principles about behavior. Central traits. The major traits considered to informing and impressions of others. Centrality of attitude. The extent of to which your specific attitude affects the entire attitude system. Bipolar and related disorder. These include periods of mania and depression, both alternately present, sometimes interrupted by normal mood. Cardinal trait. According to Allport, a single trait that dominates an individual's entire personality. Case study. An intensive study of individuals and a situation to develop general principles about behavior. Central traits. The major traits considered informing and impressions of others. Centrality of attitude. The extent to which a specific attitude affects the entire attitude system. Client centered reorient therapy. The therapeutic approach developed by Carl Rogers, in which therapists help clients to clarify their true feelings and come to value who they are. Connotations, a situation in which many people are performing the same task individually in the presence of others. Cognition, the process of knowing the mental activities associated with thought, decision making, language, and other higher mental processes. Cognitive assessment system, a battery of tests designed to measure the four basic paths: planning, attention, simultaneous, successive processes. Cognitive consistency, a state in which thought or ideas are logically in line with each other. Cognitive dissonance, the state of an attitude system in which two cognitive elements are logically contradictory or inconsistent. Cognitive therapy is a form of therapy focused on changing distorted and maladaptive patterns of thought. Cohesiveness, all forces factors that cause group members to remain in the group. Collective unconscious, inherited portion of the unconscious as postulated by Carl Jung. The unconscious shared by all beings. Communicable disease, an illness due to the specific infectious agent capable of being directly or indirectly transmitted from man to man, animal to animal, or from environment to man or animal. Competition, mutual striving between two individuals or group for the same objective. Competition tolerance, the ability to put up with a situation in which individual would have to compete with many others for even basic resources including physical space. Compliance, a form of social influence in which one or more persons non holding authority as accept direct request from one or more others. Componential intelligence. In Sternberg's triarchic theory, it refers to ability to think critically and analytically. Conflict, a state of disturbance or tensions resulting from opposing motives, drives, needs, or goals. Conformity, a type of social influence in which individuals change their attitudes or behavior in order to adhere to existing social norms. Congruent attitude change in the same direction as that of the existing attitude. Contextual intelligence, in Sternberg's triarchic theory, it is the practical intelligence used in solving everyday problems. Coping, the process of trying to manage demands that are appraised as taxing or exceeding one's resources. Counseling, a broad name for a wide variety of procedures for helping individuals achieve adjustments, such as the giving of advice, therapeutic discussions, the administrations and interpretations of tests, and vocational assistance. Counseling interview, an interview whose purpose to counseling are providing guidance in the area of personality, vocational choice, etc. Effect: the tendency to make different attributions for one's own experience or behavior actor and for same experience or behavior in the case of another person observer. Adaptation: structural or functional changes that enhances the organism survival values. Aggressions: an overt behavior indeed to hurt someone either physically or verbally. Air pollutions: degraded quality of air is air pollutions. Alarm reactions: the first stage of the general adaptation syndrome characterized by an emergency reactions involve the mobilizations of energy through adrenal and sympathetic activity. Alienations: the feeling of not being part of society or a group. Applied psychology: the practical applications of what is known about the mind, brain, and behavior. As a result, the theoretical and experimental psychology. Aptitude: a combination of characteristics indicative individuals' potential to acquire some specific skills with training. Aptitude test mean to measure individuals' potential to predict future performance. Archetypes: Jung's terms for the contents of the collective unconscious image are symbols expressing the inherited patterns for the organizations of experience. Arousal: the tension experienced at the thought of other being present and our performance being evaluated. Attitude: state of the mind, thoughts or ideas regarding a topic containing a cognitive, affective, and behave component. Behavioral: attitude object, the target of an attitude. Attributions: explaining our own or others' behavior by pointing out the causes. Authority: the right inherent in a position's example, managerial, to give others and to accept the orders to be obeyed. Autism spectrum disorder: neurodevelopmental disorder beginning in infancy and involving a wide range of abnormalities, including deficit in language, perceptual, and motor development, defective reality testing, and social withdrawal. Balance: the statement of an attitude system in which the attitudes between a person P and another individual O, and the person P and the attitude object X, and between the other individual O and the attitude object S are in same direction, are logically consistent with each other. Behavioral therapy: a therapy based on the principles of behavioristic learning theories in order to change the maladaptive behavior. Anxiety disorder: disorder in which anxiety is a central symptom. That disorder is characterized by feelings of vulnerability, apprehensions, or fear. Anxiety: a state of psychic distress characterized by fear, apprehensions, and physiological arousal. Antisocial personality: a behavioral disorder characterized by truancy, delinquency, promiscuity, theft, vandalizations, fighting, violations of common social rules, poor work record, impulsiveness, irrationality, aggressiveness, recklessness, behavior, and inability to plan ahead. The particular pattern of behavior varies from individual to individual. Anorexia nervosa: disorder involving self-loss of body weight, accompanied by the intense fear of gain weight or becoming fat. Anal stage: the second of Freud's psychosexual stage, which occurs during the child's second year. Pleasure is focused on the unknowns and retentions and expulsion of fascias. Alienations: the feelings of not being part of society or a group. Thank you.